Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's been a minute for us. You were talking about this, bro. I keep trying. By the way, welcome to the podcast. It's Between the Laughs. And the reason it's Between the Laughs, for those of you that just came in, is because this isn't us trying to be funny all the time. This isn't you want to see that? Come and see us stand up. That's where that is.
Behind the scenes.
This is more, us as human beings having conversations. And the thing is as comedians, a lot of people don't know this, but even the stuff, we're very curious people by nature, right? Like we want to know things. Not everything ends up being a joke. Not everything ends up being funny. And so this is our way of being able to communicate that with all of you. So that's what it is Between the Laughs. I'm Carlos Mencia. This is Gabe Lopez. And we were just talking about what you say. So what did you hear when they said the president, when we were at your house watching the news?
The word that he used. It was just such an
Have you
interesting.
seen it?
It's like
Liberated.
yeah,
That's what it was.
Was it liberated?
Yeah, because remember, it was that Trump said, I'm going to liberate you from.
Exactly a year ago, everybody's going to be liberated, and a year later, the person on the news said, "So, do you feel any more liberated than you did?" That just doesn't make sense to me.
Right. You know what, man? And I don't mean this like I don't vote. All right? A lot of people don't know that. And a lot of people don't understand why I don't vote. The reason I don't vote is it's not that I don't think my vote counts. It's that as an American, as somebody that's lived here, there have actually been very few things that have happened that I can say, holy shit, that affected us.
That's negatively impacted.
That like in a big way.
Yeah.
Right? That we went from holy shit to, where we went from, you know what, we gotta sell the car. Or we gotta sell the house and move to a different house. Like that kind of big thing. Yes, everybody has little uncomfortable moments. I think the difference is that our uncomfortable moments as Americans is way different. Like when I lived in Honduras, as an example, when we were out in the middle of, if you want to see where it is, there's no satellite pictures of before, but just imagine when you see this picture, 80% of whatever little houses were not there. They didn't exist. Type in Sico, S-I-C-O, Colón, like Columbus, Colón, C-O-L-O-N, or Colon, and Honduras, and watch the satellite view and look, and that's where we grew up. And at the time, there were like maybe 20, 30 houses. When my mom first lived there were 4 houses, bro.
Yeah.
So this was a tiny place. So anyway, point is that there was a nurse, kind of practitioner, but she depended on United States to send money or send medication or send whatever in order for that to function.
Okay.
So to be honest with you, as an American citizen, the most I was affected by some shit that was decided in the United States of America wasn't here, wasn't when I was living in the projects, wasn't when I was poor, wasn't at the it was when I was in Honduras, and they stopped the fucking funding for the thing, and my brother broke his arm, and we had to fly him and get his plane and the whole thing, so to set it and to take him because the funding for the local thing wasn't there.
Yeah.
So for me, like moments like that was different because he broke his arm in a weird way, and there was something about the bone marrow and the leak, and he might have lost his arm type shit.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. And the kid died. My cousin died because he was jumping around, messing around anyway. It was like a cement container where you would put water, but it kind of broke and eroded with time, and there was a little piece of rebar that was sticking out at the bottom. And he was jumping from one side to the other, slipped, fell, hit it, ruptured his pancreas.
Oh my God.
But by the time, because there's no practitioner, nothing, you couldn't do anything. By the time the little bike, the little Cessna 608 landed, took him to a place called Awas, he passed away. So I can literally say that because we stopped funding in America, something out in the middle of nowhere, the shit that people hear right now are going like, why are we even worried about that? Because you know what? In America, even if you're poor as fuck, that's not going to happen to you. You know what I mean? That unless you live like where do you have to live in America for some shit like that to go down? We're like, we're going to go, I mean, that's not going to happen here, right? It's just not. And so, we're on a whole different level. So anyway, I'm not severely affected by, okay, this tax thing went up. It saved me $1,000 or two. That's something, but it's not, holy shit, I'm gonna go and rally and vote for any of this stuff. I mean, I don't feel like that. I never have. That's number one. Number two, I want to make fun of every single person imaginable.
Equally.
Yes. And I do not want to limit it.
Yeah, to be one side.
To half of the people, to whatever they're voting for, just because I just don't want to go there. But how do you feel about the general? Not right now, what's happening right now. We'll get into that because we're at war. We got to talk about that. But, how do you feel about this?
My perspective on politicians and the laws and all the stuff that's collective in the stuff that impacts
politics in general.
For the most part, I ignore it, and not in a way where people would say, well, you're part of the problem. No, right. The reason I say that is because I believe in the neighborhood. I believe in us. Like you, it's like that's my neighbor, my family. We're going to, no matter what happens, we're going to figure it out. Gas is $8 a gallon in some places. We're going to figure it out.
Right. Yeah. Dude, I just got my car. Well, we have a few cars, but
this one has been in the shop.
My wife drives a Mercedes, and it only takes super unleaded.
Yeah.
That's it. You got to put super in there. Bro, I got it. Half a tank. I'm not kidding. Just a tiny bit over half a tank. No, it's pretty much half a tank because it was tiny bit in the tiny bit, $100. To fill my gas tank on that car is going to be $200, bro.
And thank God that doesn't hurt us like it does my mom or my sisters.
But here's the difference. The difference is this. The difference is that I have to buy super unleaded, which is 30 to 50 cents more depending on where you are. So let's be real. People like me who have those kinds of cars, we can afford that shit. You know what I'm saying? If you have a Mercedes that only takes that, you can afford it. You know what I'm saying?
But it's and that's exactly what I'm saying. Thank God we don't have to worry about that. But
right.
Yeah, family members,
right.
friends, family members.
Correct.
This is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like I don't want to pay $8 a gallon.
Correct.
I'm not saying I'm happy to do it.
Right.
Fuck that. $8 a gallon is a lot. I remember when it was $1 and it jumped to $2. Like fuck you. I was on a tight budget back then.
Bro, with $5 of gas back in the day at Arco, Datsun 5210. I could drive from LA to a spot in San Diego
and make it back. And you get 2 hot dogs for 99 cents.
Yeah. And if not, I could get another $5. So for $10, I could go back and forth.
Yeah.
Dude, $10 in the car that I drive right now.
That's less than a gallon.
It will not, dude. It won't get me to Prim, bro. It won't get me to Prim. It'll literally not get me to Prim. It'll get me from downtown or maybe for the Strip. Maybe to the gas stations or where that other hotel used to be that closed down.
Yeah, Gene.
Yeah, that one. So but even, and this is because I'm glad that you said that it affects those people. It does.
That we care about.
Correct. But here's my point. That it affects them in a way that hurts as an American, right? But what are the real changes that are going to happen? The real changes that are going to happen are, holy shit, we got to spend, $50 more in gas, so we're probably not going to go eat out as much as we Exactly.
As much.
I get your anger. I get your shit. I understand. Listen, I get it. I fucking get it. I want to eat out a certain amount of time. Because at this point in my life, I'm 58. I've eaten everything that my mom has ever cooked.
Yeah.
And thank God that my mom is this eclectic woman and now she's living at the house with us, that she gets tired now. So the other day, she used to make me, huevos a la mexicana. I don't know if you know, and there are two versions. She would do the ones with the little potatoes, and then grill them up, and then put them with the eggs, and then put cebolla, cilantro, and let me see what else. Oh, tomatoes. So tomatoes, onions, and then she got rid of the potatoes because she started to be healthier. And now she did some shit the other day that was some souffle that I'd be like, what is this, Mom? And she's like, oh, Mio, I'm so tired of making the same thing. I went on the Alexa, and if you ask Alexa, she shows you a bunch of recipes. And dude, like, I'm getting chills because I was so like as a parent, who's a son, who's a father, and who sees what it's like to get older. It's so cool that she found something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's finding little things.
That's taught me how to put this together.
Yes. And in that accent, she goes, and Mijo, your Alexa video is old. It doesn't support the 2.1. Maybe we should get a new. I'm like, this
Something cheap mother. We need the updated version.
She did, and I was like, Mom, gas is way too expensive. We can't afford this, Mom. But that's what I'm saying. And look, it's kind of what I want to talk about in my act, right? That yes, we have problems in this country, and yes, they're real. But we gotta put them in perspective.
Yeah, if we're at Outback Steakhouse and my steak and shrimp is now $2 more, we're not going, fuck that, we're not doing this.
Right? I mean, we might say no appetizers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or like, think about this. This is the country that we live in, and so many fucking people just don't get it. Okay, so we're, mostly buying food to cook at the house. We go out to eat 2 to 3 times a week, whatever it is. We're going out, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden we go, damn, gasoline is $2 more. So if on a yearly basis, it's going to be this much, whether it's in the hundreds or the thousands, whatever it is, it's going to be there. Man, maybe we shouldn't go out to eat. And if we do go out to eat, we should be very careful of where we go. So where do those people end up going? Whether you love the food or not is not relevant. To a fucking place called Golden Corral or something like that, where you might be like, ooh, well, it's all you can fucking eat. So you went from, I'm going to go to Chili's or Applebee's or whatever, we're going to go down to this, but it's all you can fucking eat. Like, that's a step down for this country. That's a step down for us. Oh, can you believe we got to go to the place where you can eat every fucking thing you want?
Look at all this food I'm wasting. Oh,
right? And the soft serve ice cream. You gotta love the soft serve ice cream, bro. This is what I think that we kind of get stuck in and don't. And so many people, I believe, in this country get stuck on, it could be better. Yeah, it could be better.
And then travel the world. It could be a lot worse, dude.
It could be, that's the difference. Yes, I understand that the person that holds the record for the fastest human being in the world, he's like, that man, he's like, I could have done a little better. I could have done better.
Yeah.
I should have been like this. Yeah, but you still got that. That's the thing. We don't feel it in that way. And that's a big thing. But right now, and I don't know how you feel about this. It gives me, as a comedian, I guess I'm like, but it's not a nya thing. It's not like nya. But man, I'm having so many friends, family members, acquaintances who were hardcore Trumps 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And dude, three of those, a lot of them are like, sorry, we didn't know type of shit. But a couple of them were like fucking crying. Like, I thought he tricked me. And I was like, he did not trick you.
He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
He did not trick anybody. Like, whatever you want to say about Trump, he didn't trick anybody. When people go, some of the people are like, I didn't realize that he was going to do this with the deportations. Really? Because when he came down the stairs, he literally said, these people are drug dealers, rapists, and murderers. And some of them, not most of them, some of them, which means it's a minority, are good people.
Yeah.
So he already told you, this is what I think. Yeah, there's exceptions to the rule, but most of these motherfuckers are blankety blank blank blank. He didn't fucking lie. Oh, I didn't realize the racism. Bullshit. In the 70s, he was fined and had to pay millions of dollars for putting little C's on the applications of all the people that were colored that wanted apartments in any of his buildings. And shocker, none of the C's got apartments. We know this. He put a billboard out so that the four dudes, the Central Park Four, I don't know if you remember the case, that they should be killed. Recently, when they were found not guilty, and not because of there was genetic evidence that showed they did not do this crime. He didn't apologize or say I'm sorry or any of that. That just shows you,
he's not.
He's not. But that's my point. Like, we know who this guy is. What are all these people? I didn't know, and if I had known, and part of me just wants to go, get the fuck out of here. But I kind of feel bad for them, but I don't. I'm literally in this weird space, so I need your help. Pull me one direction or the other.
Like, I have family in Texas, and they're all in the oil industry. They're all pipelines. They all work in that industry. So
they're fucking loving him right now.
Donald Trump impacted their life positively.
Right now, yeah.
So for them, they love Trump because more money's going in their pocket. Great. So great.
Right.
And the fact that all my family's in this country and I have no fear of anybody in my family getting deported. Mm-hmm. Why am I worried about the immigration?
Well, you should, because they have deported a couple of Americans.
Because you and I have talked about this. Like, if you and I got deported, we become rich men.
We would be able to sue the shit out of the government. First of all, we have civil liberties. You cannot ask me for my papers. You cannot come into my house without a warrant. All of that shit is like, for us.
Yeah. But if you and I are walking down the street, they're picking you up, asshole. You look way more mean than I do.
And right now, with this beard and this, bro, I am 2 steps away from cutting grass. This is
you take him, officer. You take him. Goodbye, Carlos. Goodbye, Carlos.
I'm going to be speaking with a British accent. Wait a minute. What's this? They're like, wait a minute.
I'm from Australia. Send me back.
Hey, mate, I was in Australia. Oh, you know I was there, mate. Right? It's just... But, so now, we have all these back and forth people. Now, we have people that are saying we didn't know and the rest of us were, and you and I, we love our country, but there's a part of us that's just, we can view things without it getting personal. Because we're comedians. Yeah. We're going to write a joke about it. So you don't want it to get that personal, right? I mean, I don't know, that's me. Are you like that?
We do the same shit, dude.
Yeah, so we kind of stay away from it. Yeah. But now we're dropping bombs and shit.
And how happy the president is about killing people blows my mind.
Well, that whatevs, okay? I mean, not whatevs. I feel you. It's disrespectful. That's what we're talking about.
It's not very presidential.
It's not very presidential, but that's not what bothered me was when those 6 American troops died, and he was like, yeah, 6 died. And there's going to be more.
It's like, dude, part of the process.
You're the fucking guy that sends these people to that place where they got, hurt. I'm not saying that you're not right. I'm not saying that. But, dude.
The compassion.
You don't fucking say that.
The lack of compassion is what gets me. It's shit like that.
You don't say that. You don't fucking say, there are troops right now. And listen, I'm feeling it because I performed last weekend at 3 military bases, 3 Air Force bases. And there were, you can't do jokes about the president. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's parameters when you perform for the troops, active troops. You can't diminish the president. You can't make fun of him. You can't bring him up like that. That's not, they're a commander-in-chief. So you don't want to. But afterwards, when I talked to some, a couple of people, I was like, how do you feel? And they were like, man, he's going to send me to war. And it's like my life to him is like, it happens. Like, that shit's fucked up. That hurts. And I can feel that. That's the one thing about this whole presidency and his before that, and a lot of people are learning this, by the way. A lot of us thought that there were laws or precedents or, you know, things that you had to do as a president or you couldn't do. But a lot of it was just the presidents before didn't do
Just
it.
never did it.
They just never did it. Like presidents before just never, you know, got this rich, and their families got rich. Because listen, you remember with us, and you were talking about the Clintons and the whole Arkansas, the Whitewater, and the whole thing, and they made money, but not this much. This is on a whole fucking other level.
On a billions level.
Yeah, his kids have made $1 billion in the last year. Just, you know, so, but then again, we knew this was happening, right?
But why not share? Like, I wish Nancy Pelosi did a podcast and gave some stock tips. Because a politician that starts off making $60,000 a year but leaves office worth $400 million, why not share that information?
Well, because you can't, because that's insider trading. So they
But
have.
how did she get the information?
Oh, bro, come on, dude. She shared it. We know she's not an idiot. She knows how to shut the fuck up. You know what she's like? She's quiet, like
Martha Stewart.
No. Like there's animals. Okay, cows. Right? Cows, for example. Cows love salt. Love salt. And if you walk up to one cow and you give it salt, or you give it a salt rock and you let it lick it off, it stays quiet. And it's not until like another cow literally notices,
keeps a secret,
and they're like, "Oh, bitch, what?" And then they'll walk up to you and do it. But they stay quiet. Pigs are different. So if you have 5, 6, 10 pigs, and you get one corn, right, corn on the cob, take out the husk, and throw it. The first pig to grab it, or not to fucking throw it, you put it right here in the corner, and you give it to one pig that's like on the outskirts or whatever circle it is. The minute he grabs it, he starts running, going, and then all the others are like, "Oh shit, there's food!" And then they all chase his ass. And my father would teach me life lessons, because he would be like, "Look at that cows, mijo. They're smart. They're quiet. They don't tell everybody. Well, look at the stupid fucking pig. I'm gonna give it to him right here. He's gonna scream, and then they're all gonna fight, and he's not gonna get to finish his stupid food." And that was what it was. And that was him trying to like teach me lessons of like, "Hey man, you got something good going. You want to keep it to yourself. Keep it to your fucking self."
So Pelosi's more cow than pig in this scenario?
She is more cow than pig.
Is that how?
Nancy Pelosi is a cow, and that's a compliment, bitches.
Next time on Between the Laughs.
But thinking of her, like, look at how we're talking about this, and we're laughing, and we're saying that to us, right? It's not that big a deal. And for all you people, here's how I got to the whole voting thing partially. I had a teacher, his name was Mencia. We took anthropology and government together. When we were talking about government, he was talking about a sweet spot. His opinion, this wasn't, his opinion was, which I agree with, by the way, or at least it really affected me, was you don't want to live in a country that has a really low voting, 30, 40%, 20%, whatever, but you also don't want to live in a country that has over 80%. And when he said that, from a numbers perspective, I kind of leaned in like,
I'm curious.
Okay, keep talking. And his theory was countries that have 90, 95% are countries that are going through some really bad shit. They're going through like a fucked up change. Still, like, things are so bad, or they didn't have rights to vote before and now they have them. Whatever is happening there, people feel like they have to vote. When you have too low of a vote, it's oppression, it's other stuff. But he's like, but the sweet spot between 40, 60% of people voting, that means that you're not being oppressed, you can vote if you want to, but most people are okay with the way the world is going. That's us right now, right? We're those people that are like, listen, if America needs us to vote,
that's a problem.
We're going. Well, that's a problem, but we'll vote.
Yeah.
But that's not what we want, because we know that's a problem. We want to be here. It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
So I remember I was 16 years old, and I was like, holy shit. And I thought about it because, I had a lot of Cuban friends at the time. And I go, if Cuba right now became liberated, and this was when Fidel was alive, they would probably have about a 99% voting because everybody would be like, shit, we get the vote. But for me, it was like I said, the shit that affected me from a government perspective of the United States of America when I was in Honduras and a couple of kids. Well, one kid died, and because of something shit that we did here that we said let's not fund it. That's a whole different level. But I still don't. How do you feel about the people? Those people that are now like, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Like, how? What do you feel for that? Your fucking face says it all, bro.
I have no sympathy. It's just, I have no sympathy. You made this decision. You believed it on what you knew. So now new information is presented to you and you're crying about it. Go kick rocks. Just live with your decision the way we have to live with the decision.
We have to live with it. Right. Yeah, you're right. We have to live with it and we accept it. That's why we're not like, and by the way, for anybody who's like being weird or, you know what, maybe I didn't have a podcast, but I made fun of every single goddamn president in my lifetime. I don't want to hear your shit. Right? Unless you were mad at me for making fun of the Clintons or Bush before that, or did I think I even got off some Reagan jokes and everyone in between. Like, stop.
If I have a complaint, and we talked about this, we talked about this earlier.
Okay.
The only complaint about Trump, the president, is I'm not big into politics. I don't want to hear about what he did every fucking day.
Yes.
That's the great thing about all the other ones.
Yes.
Is I didn't hear what they were doing. Great. Business as usual. Do what you gotta fucking do.
Yeah.
But every day is, we're gonna bomb this, or I put my name on that. We're gonna bomb this, I'm gonna put my name on that.
Correct.
It's like I was just watching on TV, like the national park passes, the annual passes, you can get to see all the national parks. It's always been a contest on who somebody took a picture of nature. Whether it's a mountain range, a cactus, a bear, whatever. This year, it's George Washington and Donald Trump's picture on the pass.
Yeah, he's the first president that wants to sign money. Like it's, the signatures, usually the Treasury.
Yeah.
The newer bills, I think he's going to be signing them. So, but he's always been the guy that wants attention.
And we know this.
He
wants the center of attention. He wants to be King Trump. More power to you, buddy.
Good. Yeah.
Just stay out of my way. Stay out of my family's way. We're good.
It's that. We miss that. I personally miss. But I think here's what's the difference. Here's what's the difference is for a lot of you younger people. Before Trump, pretty much, if you wanted to know anything political, you had to find it. Right? You had to go to whatever news outlet was talking about it. You had to listen to it on radio. You know who I'm talking about.
That's why the cookie crumble.
Yeah, you have to listen to the go-to, because I remember back in those days, I was listening to a guy named Michael Smerconish, and I like him because he's in the middle. His whole theme song is "Stuck in the Middle with You." Like that's his whole thing, right? He was a Republican, and then he kind of went the other way, and now he's in the middle, and so. But you had to go find him. Right? You had to go find him. You had to go find all these people. You had to go find Rush Limbaugh. You had to want to watch, or listen to Larry Elder or whoever those people were. And then I don't know if you remember was it the 90s? When they tried to do radio that was way on the left, and Mark Maron had a radio show. You remember that whole fucking thing? Just to kind of balance out, but you had to look for them. You had to go find it. You had to seek it. It was like the Matrix. It was behind all this shit. The difference today is, dude, Trump, government, firing, and it's like
I don't want to know.
I don't either.
I don't want to know who Kristi Noem is.
Exactly. How do we know these names?
They got fired today, and I forgot her name, but
Pundit.
Bonnie?
I think it is.
I know her, but I didn't want to know who she was and why.
Right. Because Because we did before. Before, nobody knew who these secretaries were. Nobody knew what they did. But like I said, it's because very rarely did an American get affected hugely. Did we get affected? Yes. But those affects are the ones we were talking about. Shit, we can't go out to eat as much. Shit, we might not have to go on that trip. Oh my God, we're not going to go, on a vacation break in March because, but that's extra stuff already, right? This isn't, oh fuck, now we got to eat top ramen for 3 days straight because we can only afford a quarter a meal. That's not where we're at. That's not what we're the richest, fattest country in the world. And listen, if it wasn't for, all the money that we spend on defense and the military, which I love, by the way, because I enjoy the military. I like the people that are willing to do the sacrifices that the rest of us can shit on. You know what I mean? It's that speech in A Few Good Men.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, what is it? You and then question the manner in which I provided. Oh, you enjoy the freedoms which I provide, and then question the manner in which I provide it. That's that's what we get to do. We get to talk shit about troops that went overseas. And by the way, I know the way it's never happened to me, thank God, but killing another human being, whether it's at war, whether he was going to shoot you, they were going to shoot at you, defense, whatever. But let's just talk about military, in the military, right? But we'll get to that. But you're in the military, they were shooting at you, shot them at you, killed them, and all you people, that are like these baby killers and all that, those are human beings that did that on your behalf, whether you understand that, agree that or not. And it took a little bit of their soul.
It affects them for the rest of their life. This is a before I kill somebody, and now there's impact. Like before I had a child, after I had a child.
Yes.
If you take somebody's life, and you and I have met many of these people, we've done a lot of the same faces.
They're different.
And I will tell everybody, we're lucky that we're civilians that have been in some of these other countries that are not resorts, that are not. If you get to see how other countries work, you would never bitch about this country. Never. You would never bitch about this.
Right. Because you would not. Now, a certain amount of this is necessary, right? A certain amount of it is necessary. There's a balance, I think. Just like in the voting, there's a balance. There's a balance of be grateful for what you have, but let's make it better. Right? Let's make it better. I get that. The problem with better is, we talked about this before. Everything can be better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have 13 motorcycles. I could have 14. That would be better.
Would I be happy with 12?
You know what I'm saying? Would I be happy with 1?
Yeah.
No. But I'd be happy with 3. I'd be happy with 3.
That's the balance. You see, kids? That's the balance. That's the balance right there.
That's my balance. 1 or 2 would not be enough because there's 3 different styles of bikes
that are just sitting in your garage.
Correct. So one of them is a speedster, sportster, Japanese motorbike. The other one is a very muscly V-twin, 150 horsepower. And then the other one is this just really cool purple and orange chopper that's it's magical, bro. Those 3. All the other ones are kind of iterations of this. So, cool. Less, I would feel, even if I didn't drive them. I mean, ride them.
So there's 9 bikes in your garage kissed off right now. That motherfucker would not pick me.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. But these are American issues, the American problems, and I'm with you, bro. I'm sorry, guys, but and it's only because, as we said, have we been affected as comedians? Yeah, we get percentages of the ticket sales that we sell. So when the economy is going well and people want to spend money and go out, guess who benefits from that? Me, homie here. When it goes down and people, what's one of the first 2 to 3 things that you cut out? Entertainment. Not going to go to the movies. Popcorn's this, movies are this. We can just wait, pay $8, $10, whatever it is for this, and then we'll check it out when it streams or whatever it is. Or maybe your family has, one that you can get 6 people to stream. However it works, we make it work. We make it work, but we're on a whole different level. Anything else you have to say about any of this? Because like you, bro, I hate talking about it. And I hate that the minute you go, I love this country. I don't, like I said, how much do I love it? That I feel that my vote is not necessary at this point. I never have. Maybe one day it will be. But maybe one day I'll feel like it, but not today.
But my most popular show happens to be a free show. So the great thing about that is when things are bad financially, my numbers go up in that aspect.
Gotcha. There you go. So see, somebody benefits. That's my point. One thing or another. And we're at war. I hope that we don't, have to go ground troops or any of that stuff.
I hope they come back fast. Because you and I have both been to that part of the world.
Yeah. And it's interesting because if we do go to war, they're going to ask people like you and me. I know they're going to ask me if I want to go, perform for the troops in theater. Last time in 2006, about 20 years ago, we got murdered when I was on stage. I was on stage, bro, telling a joke, and the alarm went off, and dude, hit the floor, the whole goddamn thing, bro. Like real shit, dude.
I was in Iraq the day Saddam got sentenced to death.
No way. I met the dude who found him.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. He came to one of my shows.
Oh, that's awesome.
He was amazing. He was cool. Like after I talked to him, he was like, I found him. I think it was like, I think who he is. And I was the one that opened, and she was the big group. He was looking at me, and I was like, holy shit, dude, you're a fucking guy. That was really cool. And thank God he made it all the way to America.
Okay.
Like all the stuff that, eventually he made it here. So that's a good thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I just, I just hope that, they don't get stuck in this. Our troops get stuck in this. You know what I'm saying? And this is what's happening. I mean, I know that right now it's a push button war. It's a video game war.
Yeah.
But, and thank God, I'm actually gonna call the Air Force and go, hey, I'll do a free show at Creech.
Yeah, that's where all the drones are.
Air Force Base.
Yeah.
Because that's where they fly the drones.
Yeah.
So those are the guys that are dropping bombs right now.
Yeah, and I've been out there where there's just drones all over the sky.
Yeah, but the weird part about that is that it's almost like a video game.
But it's absolutely. It's not kind of like, it's absolutely like a video game.
But it still has weight. Do you see what I'm saying? Like there's still the weight of what they did. It doesn't go away. I mean, yes, I'm sure that there's. I mean, look, I've seen people get shot, macheted and stabbed and killed. That is way different than.
You have weird comedy shows.
I know, right? Like, no, but I could do when I grew up in Honduras, bro. It's just, La Vida. Even the songs, life don't mean shit. Right? Like they get, dude, you start getting drunk, drinking that aguardiente, and then song comes out, La Vida, no vale nada. And then these motherfuckers get into that, and me importa, quien quiera. And then it starts, and then some of the motherfuckers like, I'm your Huckleberry. Like, no, stop it.
He's just drunk.
Right? But they're both drunk, and all of a sudden, it turns into that scene, bro. Like, I want blood. I'm your Huckleberry. And then it doesn't go away. It's like the end of that movie Tombstone, where the one guy's like, we started again, gave blood. I was just kidding. I wasn't. What? Oh, that like I've lived that. I've seen that. Like because my dad back in Honduras owned a store. So one side was a store, and the other side it wasn't a cantina, but it was where there was a record player, and you could play music, and you can buy the alcohol or beer or whatever. So I got to see this stupid shit. Fucking anyway, I want to talk about that, and I didn't want to go heavy on it first, but
it did.
No, that's not heavy. That's good, dude. We're talking about America. Let's be real. When we talk about how bad it is or whatever, it's tinted with what we were talking about, which is nothing has happened in this country to date, in my opinion, from my perspective. I've been affected by it, but not to the point where I'm like, shit, I need to get into politics to change it. There are people that feel that way. Good for them. Whatever's going on in their world, they need that. I get it.
We need public servants.
We need people like that. That's your job, not my job. My job is to make this stuff funny for people so they can digest it and it be palatable.
Yeah.
And that's our job. So we're cool. But my godfather, who served in Vietnam, came back with Agent Orange. I think that it fucked with his genetics. I think it fucked with him. He's been very ill for a long time, but never deathly ill. But he's had to bury 2 of his children.
Oh.
Yeah. And they both had genetic abnormalities. And I was dealing with the white hen. He's such a nice guy. I mean, fuck, nobody should ever have to bury a kid.
Oh, absolutely.
Bury 2? Jesus, bro. And so I want to talk about this because there are a lot of people out there that don't know how to deal with loss. And we're way too good at it. And what I mean by that is comedians have this ability to compartmentalize pain. And not just that, but to eventually, and when I say eventually, that might be 2 seconds, 2 months, 2 years, 3 years, but we inevitably make a joke about it. Whatever that shit is, because we can compartmentalize. And my fear is that I don't have like 2 to 3 weeks to be sad. So when I heard this news yesterday, the day before yesterday, I heard it. I went upstairs and I closed the door and I told everybody, just leave me alone. I gotta process this. And I did. But the next day, I had to start worrying about coming here and all of a sudden everything else. And so I'm like, my fear is that I haven't dealt with it. That I feel like it's moved on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I did take the time when I heard it, but I know that there's more pain.
Yeah, it's not a time thing either. It's you get through it until you muscle through it until you get through it.
But how do you do it? Like, I don't. Yeah, that sounds great. But I mean, I want to arm the people that are listening to this who deal with pain with specific stuff. So what I do is I compartmentalize whatever that is, and at the moments when I can is when I allow myself to get emotional and sad and depressed and mad and go through the stages, of mourning. But it's not continuous.
Yeah. I'm talking specifically about men and the way men process stuff
the way
like
we
that.
process shit like that.
Because I think women have, for the most part, have better support systems, are able to cry, where guys won't necessarily want to cry or try to hold back the tears. I'm very lucky and to have great friends, and you know a lot of my friends, don't you? And you included. And the best thing my friend Matt, and our friend Matt, told me is, with men specifically that hold stuff in, you need to talk to your guy friends, because the way he puts it, that being with your guys multiplies the fun, but it divides the pain. That means your friends are taking a slice of that pie, that pain from you, and they're happy to do it.
It's a really good view.
Yeah. So it multiplies the pleasure, divides the pain.
Well, it heightens the pleasure because you guys all start
because
and
the guy friends and just the process starts dissipating. That pain starts dissipating. It won't ever go away permanently, but it at least give me the chance to be there for you. Even if it's just us sitting in a fucking park bench not saying a word to each other.
Right. Just being there.
And also as comedians, that shit talking, the shit that we do, that's a relief. That's That's the gas leading the engine. It's just something that's finally got to.
We get to purge emotions, even if the jokes are not specifically about what we were talking
But
about.
purging is a perfect word. You're just because you got to get through it. Give us the fucking chance to help you get through it. Yeah, we're there for the good times. When you're a real friend is when you're there for the bad times. Right. That's when you prove yourself.
Right. Because I get stuck, and what like the goes off in my head is when I'm just watching, like today. There's a movie called Bele something, The Birth of a Generation. Anyway, it's about him when he was 16 years old and his father and how he began to become. It was that World Cup when he was 16 years old and he scored and they won and it's a whole thing. Anyway, this is how I knew. Fuck, I have to talk about this because I'm sitting there and it's toward the end of the movie. And it's basically at that time Brazil was being told, "Hey, you have to play the way Europeans play. Discipline, boom, pass the ball, pee here, do there." And that's not who they are. Yeah. That's not who they ever were. They're flamboyant. They're people that were enslaved, that were freed. You know what I mean? A big anyway. In the movie at the moment, Pelé says to the other guys, "Hey, do you see that thing way out there in the water? What if we try to keep the ball up from here all the way over there outside?" And they started doing it. And I'm not even kidding. That's how benign the fucking scene was. And I'm going, fuck yeah, they're gonna kill it. Dude, I swear to God, I'm like, I hope these motherfuckers don't walk out right now, because you're in one room back there, and Kaylin is in the room back there, and I'm just wiping tears. Like, if they come out and see me crying and this shit, they're gonna fucking like, what are you crying about? And I'm just like, okay, that compartment I sealed is not sealed. There's a leak in it. I'm crying over some stupid shit.
But that's part of the purge. And that's exactly what it is.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's leaking,
yeah.
and it's purging. But I allow myself, to go there. Because had you guys been like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm crying." They've been like, "Why the fuck are you crying?"
I'm looking at the TV.
Yeah.
Soccer?
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck is this? But I would have told you, you know what it is. It's I heard some bad news, and I didn't have a lot of time to deal with it. So I gave all the time that I had. But this is extra time. And I'm not thinking about it, but I guess my being is living in it.
Yeah.
So that's a way to purge for me. And going on stage, being angry at certain jokes, right? Like getting mad at a joke or getting more angry at a joke than before. Whereas to like, when I'm normal and I'm on stage and everything's cool, there's a specific joke where I might say, I probably say it like this. What the fuck are you doing here, you goddamn wetback? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last night, bro, it was like, the fuck are you doing here, you motherfucker? It was like, holy shit. But that person, there was an anger inside of me. Did it have anything to do with that joke?
And sometimes it comes out like that. You didn't even know it was there.
Oh, I didn't know it was there until I looked at the audience and I kind of like, I was like, you know how when you know that you go too far, you gotta walk that shit back, and you're like, it's that moment where you go, I heard someone's is gonna get worse, but the opposite of that moment where like, ooh, that was okay, let's walk that back. How's the weather?
Why did the chicken cross the road? Let's take it back.
Right. So your thing is, and the obvious, of course, which is, a therapist. But I think that a combination of all is something that we, look, it's weird how, more people aren't dying. More people aren't dying now than when I was a kid. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it affects me more personally. That's the older I get. And I feel like more people are dying. I know they're not. But it just feels that way.
Well, it's one of my favorite lines of one of the Indiana Jones movies. You get to a point in life where it stops giving you things and it starts taking them away. And that's just life.
Yeah.
That's the price we paid for being on this big rock.
I did not know that my oldest kid. I mean, I know he listened to me, and I'm always trying to. I'm trying to be like my dad was to me, very philosophical, very giving. And I called him today, and I was like, "Hey, just are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, Dad, I'm just dealing with the fact that the irony of life, Dad." And I said, "What irony is that?" He said that the fact is, the minute you were born, the second you take your first breath, is the first moment you begin to die.
That's it. The clock is ticking.
I was like,
good job.
I was like, wait a minute, I told you that shit, bro. You know what I mean? And that was me. And I was so like happy about that because it's like, okay, he's getting it.
And this is a good learning experience.
Yes. As sad as death is, he was only 43, bro.
Oh my God.
43, died of a heart attack, had a congenital heart. So, yeah, dude. And I mean, it was literally, we got the news. And I mean, literally, me and Albert were like, we were just hanging out with him 2 days ago. What? Wait, no. I mean, it would literally be like if you or I were to just have a heart attack tomorrow and die.
Yeah.
There's no, I'm a little overweight, but I'm not like diabetic overweight or anything like that. You're not. I mean, we're pretty healthy.
Yeah.
He was like this. And it just, bro, done. And yeah, man, I'm just, I thought, maybe we should talk about this order because there's a lot of other people that don't know, how to do it. So I think that your thing, especially with men, I think that's really,
don't do it alone. That's the key. I think as men, those are the ones that truly need the therapist more so than if you got a good core of friends that you can trust. Like, yeah, you can talk shit too, but like, hey, I'm going through some shit. What do you got?
Right, to have those kinds of friends.
Or you got a text, hey man, some shit went down, and then your phone instantly rings. Like they had that gut feeling, they know you that well.
Right.
What's up?
Right. Because we're emotionally intelligent beings.
Yes.
Some of us, very rare, some of us aren't.
And for most of us,
most of us aren't.
But we have to put that strong facade because we're the head of the household, or people depend on us. You got your wife, you got your kids, so you don't want to drag your wife necessarily down to where you're feeling, but your buddies are there. Mm-hmm. Or if you're lucky enough to have brothers that you trust, hey man, I went through some shit. I don't have any brothers, I got 4 sisters, so it's different to lean on them.
Right.
But it's funny, growing up, we had family friends where I'm the oldest of 5 and I have 4 sisters. Mm-hmm. This family that we became very close with, they were 4 boys and 1 girl. So they were the exact opposite of what we were. Mm-hmm. And grew up together. 2 of those 5 are not here. Damn. Same age as me and my sisters.
Right.
2 of them do not.
Yeah, I know that's.
And I just think about the parents. And I remember going to the funeral of the first one. And he was, I'm going to say, 26, 27, died of leukemia. And the mom is just crying, letting it all out. The dad was just, thank you for coming, smiling, thank you for coming, smiling, thank you for coming. And not till it ended, and where the very end, I remember looking down the hallway and seeing the casket. And the dad finally put his hands on the casket.
He just broke down.
He lost it. Yeah. To me, that is my definition of pain.
Yeah.
I can't erase that picture.
It'll never go away. It'll always be there with you.
That is like, you tell me what pain is like. It's not breaking my arm. What that father felt.
And that was a build-up moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He was holding it in. Just like what you were doing.
Right.
Just don't do that.
Yeah. I
don't care if you go to the top of a hill and fucking scream your lungs out.
Right.
Don't keep it in.
Yeah, that's the one thing, I actually did something I've never done before. I sat down with my mom, with Amy, and Nicholas. And he's only 8.
Your youngest?
Yeah, and Lucas is 19. And I said, hey man, why don't we all just talk about moments that we had with him, with Caesar, that we laughed.
Yeah.
or had a great time, or and Nicholas is like, hey, last time he was here, we played Uno. Why don't we play Uno right now?
You got it, son.
And I was like, cool. And we all just kind of went around and talked about his life and
Played
his
himself.
effect on us while playing Uno.
That's awesome.
But I wanted them to, and I was like, look, and if you want to say something sad or you want to be sad, it's cool. Like, that's the one thing I don't do as a father. I'm not manly like that. I cry all the fucking time. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I tell my kids, it doesn't make you a better or worse person. It's a good thing to show your emotions.
But you took the lead, which says a lot about head of household.
It's true.
Head of household, you took the lead. Mm-hmm. And the youngest one, who might not even comprehend death yet,
right,
threw out this idea.
Yeah.
And that's how people stay alive.
Yeah. No, yeah. I was caught in that moment. I was caught in that moment of like, man, I wanted to look at him and go, you're 8, so you're not going to understand this. But Jesus, what you did right now.
You did something right now.
What you did right now. We were on the brink of all being just devastated.
Basket cases around the dinner table.
You know what I mean? We were all like that man right before he put his hands on the casket. We were dead right before that. And then instead of doing that, you look and there was a clown. And you're like, hey, shit, what the fuck? You know what I mean? He's just like, hey, let's play a game.
Yeah.
Because last time we played a game. And it was just like, fuck.
Oh, you really fixed everything.
Yes. Let's celebrate that. So that's true, especially for men having there. But, there's also, and I don't know what they are. I wish I'd done a little bit of research on this, but you can go online and find numbers that you can call that will help you in moments like this if you don't have, friends. Because we were talking about this as well. You and I have a big enough family, that we know that there's a little bit of a village. It takes a village type thing. But, there's a lot of people out there that don't have that big family, that single home, and then, they're married and they have one maybe kid. And that circle
is very small.
Of trust isn't, dude, mine is ginormous.
Yeah.
Of my 11 sisters and 6 brothers, I can honestly tell you that my older one died, so it's not only 5 brothers. There's only one brother that I wouldn't call and ask for advice. Everybody else, I can call them under any circumstance and talk to them about anything. And they would be there for me. Or if I said, hey, I need you to come to Los Angeles, or hey, I need you to meet me this weekend in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, because that's where I'm going to be.
I need to bury this body. I'm on my way.
Right. And they'll be there like, this is to all you young people. I just had a little epiphany. These are the real friends that you need to start bonding with. Not we play video games together and, but you got to start making friends. And on the lower level, it's the friend that's going to take you to the airport when it's inconvenient. That's also the friend on the other end that's going to help you bury the body or help you deal with whatever pain you have to deal with. You got to forge those friendships.
Everything you just said from the brothers, only one you wouldn't call. How lucky are you?
Unbelievable. And this is just my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
If I started calling my nieces and nephews, a lot of them would give me unbelievable perspective. You know what I mean? Insight perspective and support. But we would also, kind of, because they would also start telling stories about it. We would also inevitably, because that's, I don't know how other people do it, but especially when we lived in Honduras, in Mexico, the velorio, right? Because there, when I was a kid, you couldn't, there was no morgue. Shit, for Christ's sakes, I just talked about how we stopped funding and fucking 2 kids one kid died. And I mean, that's where we were. But so you had to bury the body the day after. Yeah. Pretty much it was killed or dead or whatever it was. But we had the velorio where people would stay up all night doing prayers and not drinking because they'd have chocolate and coffee and just telling stories about whoever this person was and talking, through it, and having people that loved that person, whoever that was, talk to you, you talk to them. It literally was the village coming together in support and mourning together. That doesn't exist in that way for me here in this country. We're all separated, it's not the same. But I do have friends and I do have family that I can ask for that kind of support and it'll be there for me. But it's because we forged those relationships, right? You have an emotionally intelligent group of friends, and I can say that because a lot of them become my friends.
Your friends.
And they became my friends so quickly because of that, because of their emotional intelligence. It wasn't just guys drinking, talking about pussy and getting laid and remember when blah, blah, blah. I mean, our core friends that we have together are friends that we can joke around about, fuck around, do the stupidest joke, and then 2 seconds later,
know when the switch turns off.
The switch goes, and you become a human being, and you're there for each other. That's but we've forged those friendships, and we've given to those friendships. We've taken, because you got to take sometimes. Sometimes it's you're in that place, right, where I have to take.
There's a balance.
Exactly, but it's what you said, You take, you give. You give to that person who needs your pain when that pain is there. Now you give because you're taking away a little bit of their pain, giving you a little bit of their joy, kind of balancing it out. And the opposite is true of what you said. So, yeah, man, I think that especially for you young people out there, and this goes to everybody, create a core group of friends that are going to be there for you, are going to be by your side.
That want to see you succeed, that'll push you up.
Yeah, that are genuinely happy.
Proud that you achieved a milestone in your life. I'm so fucking happy.
Yeah, when they look at you, dude, like that happened last afternoon. And we will end with this. So right before I went on stage, I go, somebody comes up and to Carr said, your friend wants you to know that he's here in the audience. This is Michael Collier. So I know Michael from before I started doing stand-up. Where I heard that there's a guy in Venice Beach that does stand-up on the boardwalk. And is like everybody knows who this guy is. And Michael, back in those days, he was the king of Venice Beach, bro. He would go there on a weekend, and if you were walking down the strip and you saw 50, 60, 100 people gathered together, he was in the middle of that. And he would tell jokes. But he's a joke teller like on a whole different level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas to you and me would be the joke would go, and this kid is playing with a plane, and then he comes to the plane, and the kid's like, he's just, everything is animated. And I wanted to bring him up on stage before the show, but they gave me the card too late. So I couldn't go talk to him and see. I didn't know if he wanted to. I don't know if he's in. I have no idea.
Yeah.
None. But I wanted to. Dude, we get to the part where I'm like, we're going to tell you some jokes. Can I tell a joke? Ladies and gentlemen, I had no idea this was going to happen. I had no idea because this is who he is. This is who he is to me. This dude, greatest joke teller of all time that I know of, in my opinion. And he's going to tell you a joke. And he came up on stage and told the joke. And it was great. And then I go, you know what joke of yours I miss? And then I go, that airplane joke. And he was like, that airplane joke. Oh, can I tell another joke? He was like, hell yeah, you can tell another joke. And he does an airplane joke. And then he goes off stage after telling 3 jokes. And then me and Kaylin get into like a different series of jokes. And he's like, can I tell another joke? And I was just like, dude, I was, when he said, can I come back up there? That was to me, just as a comedian that's been doing this long, he's been doing it longer than me. for him to be in that moment so fucking excited to come up after he already told his joke. It was like, no, I got an idea. I got an idea. And what was making me happy, what made me happy at that moment, bro, truly happy, was he knows who I am as a comedian. Yeah. He knows that I will, of course you can come up on stage. Yeah. Of course you can tell another joke. Of course, dude, mi casa su casa, my friend. And in a world where a lot of other comedians, never saw that in me, never saw that part of who I am. It was so cool to have somebody that knows me for real and was like, no. I don't give a fuck that this is his show. It's the moment in the show where you fucking punk me and make me look like an idiot. And everybody's looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm just like, hey, you got me, man. What are you going to do? Move on, shit. It's that comfortability of not seeing some caricature of who I am, but the real me. And dude, it was so great. And he came up on stage and he told these jokes, and it was so goddamn good, bro. It was so funny. It was so awesome. Dude, he told this joke that people could not stop laughing, bro. He goes, there's a guy up, there's a construction site, and he didn't make it ethnic. And the guy couldn't hear him. He goes, I can't hear you. So the guy goes, and points to his knee, and he goes, need you now. And the guy up on one goes like this. And he's like, what the fuck is, no, I need you right now. And the guy's like, what the fuck? So he gets in the, goes all the way to the top. He goes, dude, I'm trying to tell you that I need you right now. He goes, yeah, I told you, I'm coming. Fuck. I was like, dude, I forgot that joke. I was like, I forgot that joke. Like, because that's what, and then the cool thing was he did that joke before he got off stage. So we said something, right? And he made me go, oh, fucking inspired. And then I told the joke that he was like, oh, I forgot, I got this other joke. And he came. It was such a beautiful, such an awesome, such a great. But I haven't seen him in over a decade. All right?
Doesn't he live in Vegas?
Not sure, maybe. But here's what I do know, brother. When I brought him on stage and hugged him, we could have been hanging out, smoking cigars the night before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no part of me that felt distant.
Yeah.
There was no part of me that was like, I haven't seen you in forever. Why haven't you called? Like, it was literally like, holy shit, you want to come up here and tell jokes with me? For real? You do? No way. Fucking, you people don't know who he is. But to the black girls, like, remember BTL? He had a show. Remember back in the day? They were like, oh. And then they were like, oh. And I was like, yes. It was a perfect ending to a show that had a lot of purging on my behalf. A lot of anger, a lot of shit,
and this guy shows up all of a sudden. God, don't make mistakes, my friend.
You know what I'm saying?
God, don't make mistakes.
If you look for the shit, you will find the shit. If you look for the clouds, you will find the clouds. It's just, you look up, you're going to see what's up. You look down, you're going to see what's down.
Either way, you're going to get an answer.
You're going to get an answer, and most of it is up to you, man. It's not vision board shit, but you attract what you want to attract, whether it's negativity or positivity. It's up to you. But I think that if nothing else, it's, why don't you end the show this time, bro? You say whatever you want to put a button on this in any way, shape, or form.
If you got anything out of this, especially for the men watching this, keep your friends close and trust them during the bad times. Because, like my friend Matt says, it multiplies the pleasure and it divides the pain.
There you go. Peace.
See ya.